the incubators plugged in, the incubator itself and the turning trays, and I have them warming up. Let's fix this here. So I will go ahead and these are going to warm up for a few hours. I want to make sure that they get up to temperature and stay at a steady temperature and humidity level, and that's why I have these. So this has the temperature and the humidity level in the incubator with the little probe in there. This is kind of what I go by because these incubators don't have a humidity gauge on them, and I've found that the temperature on the little digital readout in the back there, this little temperature gauge right here, is usually off by a couple degrees. So we're going to go ahead and let these warm up, and then I will show you next what I am going to do, what the process is that I need to go through with the eggs. I am going to start prepping the eggs to go into the incubators. You can't just throw any egg into the thing. The one thing you always want is the egg cannot be dirty. You don't want any kind of dirt possibly causing any problems, causing any bacteria with the incubation. So this egg here has got a little poop on it, so I will probably not use this one. I do have this neat little brush here, and if it's just dry matter, you can usually just kind of brush it off with the egg, on the egg. But this is just kind of really stuck on, so it's not gonna come off. And you absolutely do not want to wash your eggs. Just like when you're keeping the eggs for eating, for storage, if you wash them, then that is going to remove the cuticle or the bloom from the outside of the egg, and that is what helps to prevent bacteria from getting in through the very porous shells and getting bacteria into the egg. It's super important when you're incubating, because if there's any kind of bacteria in any of the eggs, and it can spread to the other eggs and cause all kinds of problems with hatching. It can kill the eggs. It can make the chicks sick. Like the minute they start breathing the air in there, they're going to be inhaling that bacteria, and you really don't want that. So washing eggs is a big no-no. The next thing is size and shape. So you don't want any kind of funky shaped eggs. Let me see. You see, like this one here is like really, really pointy. Now there is an old wives' tale, urban legend, however, whatever you want to call it, that the more pointy an egg is, it is guaranteed to be a rooster. I've not seen that at all. When I first heard about it, I incubated a few of the super pointy eggs just to see if I would get a rooster out of them, and it was just like a small batch with the super pointy eggs, and it was 10 eggs, and I think maybe 2 of them were roosters. So that's not necessarily true. Now this egg here is a really nice one. It's a large egg. It's a nice basic shape, so a really good egg for incubating. But then that takes us to our next step, is that you want your egg to weigh a certain amount. So you don't want anything below 53 grams or anything above 63 grams. Anything above 63 grams may have a double yolk in it. So yeah, so see, this egg here is at 75 grams, so it's a possibility that it most likely has a double yolk in it. It's a possibility. You don't want to take that chance, but we are going to be candling our eggs here in a little bit, the ones that I kind of select, and that will tell us for sure if it's going to be a double yolk or not. And I will show you the candling process here in just a minute. So there's a really easy way until, like, I've been doing this long enough now, I can kind of determine what size egg is going to be best for incubating, where I'm going to get the best, healthiest chicks. But if you're just beginning and starting out on this, it's really easy to weigh the eggs. I just use a little digital kitchen scale in a little glass dish. And let me just turn the camera here and I will show you how this is done. Little kitchen scale, you want to set, so when you turn it on, you're going to set your glass dish on. You can use a plastic one too. I just happen to like the glass ones, the little Pyrex ones that I have. And then you're going to tear out. So you turn it on, you make sure that it's at 0. And if you're not on grams, then you can cycle through your units, and everybody's kitchen scale is going to be a little bit different until you get to grams, because that's the best way to do it. And then, so I'm zeroed out at grams, and then I just place the egg into, that one is a 71. That one might be a little big. So, but we will check it. It's pretty close. So I will go ahead and set this one off to the side into my I'm keeping it pile. And then, or actually, I guess, into my I'm keeping it basket. I have my second little basket here. And then we'll candle this one, and we will see how that one goes. This is that little weird shaped one. It's just above. Now, you do have to keep in mind that I have rhododendron reds, and we also have Brahma chickens. It's pretty close, just about right, but it's going to go off to the side because, like I said, really weird shape. You kind of want to try and avoid this. So then, let's see, what's this guy look like? All right, see, that one's like right at 63, so that's probably going to be a really, 64. It's close enough. You know, for horseshoes and hand grenades. So we will go ahead and keep this one, and it'll end up being candled. See, it just keeps bouncing back and forth. So I'll put it in the basket. This one will get candled. And then what I want to do is, this one's actually pretty clean, but I still just kind of want to take this brush here and brush off any like dust particles, things like that. It's a real soft brush, soft bristles. It kind of gets the excess dirt and stuff off, but it doesn't scratch the egg. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this up, and then we will hop back over to the other room here and shut some lights off, and I will show you how I candle the eggs. This is actually a fancy little candler. It's so hard to see, but there's a little rubber ring around the outside here to help prevent the egg from cracking or anything like that when you go to candle your eggs. Now, what candling is you know, back, you know, before there was electricity and flashlights and all that jazz, people would use a candle and hold it under the egg to check the egg. So I normally like a little darker room, but this probably won't be too bad. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the egg the little flashlight on the egg here. I hope you're seeing this. And then see, it lights up the inside of the egg. So I'm not seeing any cracks. There is not a double yolk in this egg, so we'll be able to use it. Let's try the next one. And you always want to put it at the base, the bottom side of the egg. It honestly doesn't make a difference, but if you want to, you can hold it in a few different places to kind of see. It's only a single yolk in here and a single yolk here, so we can use these eggs for sure. That's awesome. Now, the reason I go through this entire process is because I need to be able to check all of the eggs for any kind of surface cracks. I make sure that it's not a dead egg. I will go through all of the eggs and get them candled, and then I will show you here in a few hours how I will go about putting them in the incubator. Good morning, everybody. So I think the incubators are finally ready. Completely forgot that I had this infrared thermometer. Remembered it when I went in the kitchen drawer yesterday. So I've been scanning the inside the incubator with this, and it is super accurate. If you don't have one of these, get one, because yeah, it is really accurate. You can take temperatures on anything in your house. I scanned my pantry yesterday, and it's almost as cold as my refrigerator because it's been so cold outside. So I'm just gonna scan this first incubator real quick and see where I'm at temperature wise. So you kind of just pull the trigger here. I like to scan the ambient air to get it to a different temperature than I just measured. This one says 98. So that needs to go up just a couple degrees. Now let's scan this third one. 98.6. So that needs just to go up a couple tenths of a degree. All right, so I think at this point they'll get up to the proper temperature. I will be consistently monitoring humidity, temperature a few times a day, every day. That's also a really big reason why I got the egg turners, because flipping eggs, turning eggs all day is horribly painful. Now, with these incubators, if it gets below a certain temperature, it will start squawking at me, which is actually kind of nice. So lifting this lid, it's probably gonna squawk at me a bit. The humidity is just about right now for everybody. The one thing that I forgot to do the other day, but I can do it, it's real easy to do it right now. So just to double check to make sure that your eggs are turning, you want to mark one side with an X. Just a pencil, just a number 2 lead pencil. Don't use marker or anything like that, because that is moist. It'll penetrate the shell, and it will be toxic. So just a number 2 lead pencil. You could maybe use like a chalk pencil. So you want to mark your egg, and then it's just going to go right there at a little bit of an angle like that. And I'm going to do that for every egg that I put in the incubator. Last eggs are in. Incubators 3 and 2 have 27 eggs each. Incubator 1 has 21 eggs. Everyone is marked. I'm going to pop the lid back on here and plug it back in, since it's not going to squawk at me now. Oh, come on now, maybe. All right, and then that'll get back up to temperature. These hovabators actually get up to temp fairly quick. So here's the next step. So for all 3 of my incubators, I have this lovely little timer, and it tells you how many days for any type of bird that you're incubating. Now we are doing chicken, which is 21 days, so 3 weeks to hatch chickens. So I'm gonna hopefully turn it on. There it goes. I just wasn't holding it long enough. I do not need 89 days, so we're gonna push this button here, and it'll pop all the way down to 21 days. These are all chicken eggs, so I'm just going to use the one this round. I don't need the other 2 because they're all the same amount of time. The reason I have multiple ones is because sometimes I will be incubating duck and goose, which are both 28 days, turkey, which is 28 days, and chicken at the same time. So I'm just going to pop these in my little cupboard, and then I will come back in a few hours and double check my temperatures, make sure, well, in less than a few hours, about an hour, I'll come over, check and make sure everything's getting back up temperature wise. Now what I'll do is I have a spreadsheet that I have on my computer, an Excel spreadsheet I use to keep track of the birds, the set date, how many eggs I set, how many hatch, how many, and then after a few days, sometimes we do lose a chick even though it has hatched. Sometimes there are issues. The chick is not quite right or something like that. So, but I will now go and put all of that into my spreadsheet so I can keep track of that. So I know, and then what that'll allow me to do is to know how many more eggs I need to try and set for another round. I will check back with you guys in a few days and let you know what's going on with the incubators.